Welcome back to Kdramas Decoded, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode of your favorite K-drama. Episode 3 begins with a scene from 16 years ago. We see Q inside a hotel in Japan, speaking to Gienne on the phone. A mission is about to begin. Gienne explains that there are terrorists inside the hotel who have taken hostages. Among the hostages is a VIP and his family. Their mission is to rescue them. Gienne asks Q to check how many people are inside. Q enters the hotel pretending to deliver food. However, she has a gun hidden underneath the table. The men inside take the food from her, allowing her to observe how many people are present. After gathering the information, Q leaves and contacts Gienne. She tells him that there are more hostages than they expected and that they will have to save everyone. She also reveals that the terrorists are located inside the hostage area as well. Gienne asks if she is sure, but Q confirms it. Gienne tells her they do not have much time and that they need to begin the operation immediately. Q agrees, but she secretly calls her brother and warns him not to join the operation because it is too dangerous. However, her brother ignores her warning and arrives with his team. At first, they manage to take down 2 terrorists, but when they open the door, they discover that it is a trap. A bomb has been planted, causing an explosion that kills everyone. Jae is badly injured and close to death. Q rushes to save him, but Jin Man arrives and pulls her back into the room. Q cries in his arms, but Jin Man tells her not to worry and promises that he will save him. The story then moves to the present day. Q is outside talking on the phone with someone, while looking at the profile of a man named Sigma. Sigma is sitting in front of her. She brings him inside. The two begin flirting, but Q secretly injects something into his neck. Sigma realizes something is wrong and asks what she has done. Q tells him that he must have stolen something from Babylon and that now he has to die. A fight breaks out between them. Q grabs his tie and tries to kill him, but suddenly some girls enter the restroom area after hearing noises. They are about to check what is happening, but Q starts making sounds that make it seem like she and Sigma are being intimate. The girls laugh and leave, saying they should get a room somewhere else. Q then finishes the mission and kills Sigma. She reports that the operation was successful. Her next mission is revealed. She must capture Jin Man. She also looks at a picture of Gienne. The next scene shows Q with her team. They are reviewing a fake operation that her brother Jae carried out, but it failed because he could not rescue the hostage. Q explains his mistakes and gives him advice about what he should have done differently. Later, she speaks to her team and tells them about their new mission. She will be the team leader, and they must travel to Korea to capture Jin Man. The story then returns to the ending of episode 2. Jae and notices that Woo Jin has received a message from Where It Help. Soon after, guards arrive on the boat and begin checking everything. One of the men questions Woo Jin and says they have received reports about possible smuggling. However, after searching, they cannot find anything. Then they notice Gienne and ask who she is. They joke and ask if she is Woo Jin's girlfriend, laughing that Woo Jin might finally get married. Woo Jin denies it and says it is not like that. Later, they return to the island. Gienne does not speak to Woo Jin and goes straight home. She takes her brother's phone and looks through the Where It Help app. She downloads it but cannot log in. She looks at Jin Man's number, possibly thinking about calling him. However, someone knocks on the door. It is Woo Jin. Gienne goes outside to speak with him, but keeps a gun with her. Woo Jin tells her that everything has already been proven and asks why she never questioned him. Gienne says she is not interested in knowing everything and tells him to leave. She goes back inside and starts packing because she wants to escape. However, she sees Sang-ji again. He tells her that running away will not solve anything. Jae gets angry and tells him to leave her alone. Later, she remembers what her brother told her, that after arriving at the island, she should open the bag. She follows his instructions and opens it. The next scene shows Gienne arriving at the boat area, where she installs a device that appears to be a camera. She also sets up surveillance around her house. Meanwhile, Q's team arrives in Korea to meet Jin Man. Jae asks his sister what Gienne Man actually did and why they are trying to capture him. Q says that Gienne Man may have become a traitor. Jae points out the irony because Q was the one who brought Gienne Man into Babylon and recommended him. Now she is the one hunting him. Q reminds him that Gienne Man saved his life. The story returns to the past. After Gienne Man tells Q that he will save her brother, he goes back outside with Jae. Gienne Man brings Jae with him and tries to complete the operation. However, they discover that the people they thought were hostages are actually terrorists. The terrorists grab the real hostages and threaten to kill them unless they are allowed to escape. Q is captured. She pretends to be pregnant and begs them to let her go. However, it is only a distraction. She pulls out a knife hidden under her shirt and kills one of the terrorists. She takes his gun and eliminates another enemy. Gienne Man arrives and reveals that he is from the Korean Special Forces. Q tells him she is the leader of Babylon's team and says they did not know he was also carrying out an operation. She says that if he had told them earlier, their mission might not have failed. But Gienne Man tells her they should have properly checked how many terrorists were inside before entering. Later, Gienne Man meets Q again. Q explains that she could not tell him about her first mission because it was against their rules. Gienne Man accepts this. Q asks him if he wants to go for a drink. However, Gienne Man says he is leaving for Korea soon. Jae also thanks Gienne Man for saving him. Before leaving, Gienne Man stops Q and tells her, "Next time, whether it is Japan or Korea, wherever we meet, we'll have that drink." Q smiles and shakes his hand. Back in the present day, Q and her team arrive at a building. Q says this will be their new base. However, they discover someone is already inside taking a shower. They investigate and find Bale. Bale looks at them and says, "So you're the people who traveled across the world to catch Gienne Man." Q introduces herself as the team leader. Bale insults her and questions how a woman could handle this kind of mission. He tries to leave, but the bodybuilder stops him. He tells Bale that he is the one-eyed Korean agent. Bale says nothing and leaves. Q and her team later meet with Gienne's associates. They are given information about Gienne Man and the people connected to him. They explain that Muert Help is an app created by Gienne Man that is used for selling weapons. Jae asks about Bale. Q realizes he is talking about the one-eyed man. She asks if Jae has already met him. When he confirms it, she asks if he is afraid. Jae denies being scared, but says he believes Bale could become an obstacle. Meanwhile, Gienne continues trying to access Muert Help. She sends a message to her brother asking about the app and whether it is the same system they know. While checking her cameras, she notices Woo Jin leaving on his boat. Woo Jin travels out into the water when another man approaches him. The man tells him there is a problem. He shows Woo Jin several children and explains that he brought them from China. He asks what they should do with them and suggests throwing them away. Woo Jin refuses. He says they cannot do that and that the children need medical help. He takes them onto his boat. The man tries to stop him, but Gienne arrives and attacks him. She treats the children's injuries and helps them. Later, Woo Jin reunites the children with their parents and gives them money for help. Back on the island, Woo Jin explains his work to Gienne. He says he helps children who are separated from their parents. People from China come to Korea for work, but sometimes their children cannot join them. Woo Jin helps reunite them. Gienne asks about the gun she found. Woo Jin says he does not know where it came from, but promises he will turn himself in. Gienne shows him the Muert Help app and asks how he knows about it. Meanwhile, Jin is trying to cooperate with others. Bale arrives and attacks two gang leaders. Q's team joins the fight. Together, they eliminate everyone. However, Jae starts fighting Bale. Jin tells Q to stop them because they need Bale's help to capture Gienne Man. Back on the island, Gienne helps the older women. They notice something is wrong between her and Woo Jin and encourage her to talk to him. They explain that Woo Jin lost his father when he was young and his mother left. His grandfather later died in a boat accident. The women of the island raised him together, which is why they consider him their son. Later, Woojin brings food to Gienne. He gives her the username and password for the Muert Help app. The two eat together. Gienne asks if Woojin really plans to turn himself in. He says yes. However, Gienne tells him she will keep his secret. Woojin thanks her repeatedly. He then asks about her past. Gienne explains that someone may come to kill her, which is why she set up security around her house. She says her parents died when she was young and her uncle raised her. Although he trained her to survive, she was afraid of him and eventually ran away. The next scene shows Yang and his group searching for Gienne. They say there are more than 30 islands, making it difficult to find her. Yang says they first need to find the person who stole their belongings. Later, he looks at Gienne's photo and sees the reward offered for capturing her. That night, Gienne goes running. Woojin joins her. Although Gienne denies saying she was scared, she allows him to stay. The two begin running together every day and slowly become closer. The older women on the island notice their relationship developing. Gienne and Woojin spend time together at the beach. Gienne tells him that she likes him because everyone on the island loves him. She says she never experienced that kind of love before. Woojin tells her that her past is behind her now. He says everyone cares about her, including him. He holds her hand, and Gienne smiles. Later, Yang appears near their house. Gienne realizes they may have found her. She tells Woojin they need to leave. An attacker tries to stop them, but Gienne fights back. When they reach the house, Gienne breaks a pot outside. Inside the pot is a bomb. She presses a button, causing it to explode and killing the attacker. However, Yang and another person survive. They enter the house searching for Gienne. Gienne takes Woojin into her secret room. He sees her weapons and becomes shocked. Gienne tells him she will explain everything later. She checks the cameras and notices one of the attackers stepping forward. She realizes there is a trap. The attacker gets caught. Yang discovers Gienne's location. Gienne hides with Woojin while the attackers fire at them. Suddenly, someone appears from behind and takes down the attackers. It is Mina. She looks at Gienne and smiles. Episode 3 ends with Mina's unexpected arrival.